Stay hungry, stay foolish.
Today's guest offers a unique pathway toward identifying the right career, finding the ideal job, and developing a moral compass, the solid value system that will then anchor us in our professional lives. With a creative and engaging mix of coaching practice, management theories, case studies, and personal storytelling, today's book helps us identify both our moral compass, which relates to integrity, passion, and internal value systems, and radar, which helps us to understand organizational complexity and read workplace dynamics and situations. The compass of success is founded on a series of searching questions that will enable anyone to find their compass and radar to achieve personal success. How can I find out what my real strengths and talents are? Do I love what I do? How can I find a job with a company that truly reflects my values? What are the prices I am willing to pay for a meaningful and rewarding career? How should I define a successful career? In the midst of a volatile and uncertain world, one in which technology, AI, and digital resources are transforming the work environment, the compass and the radar allows us to pause, reflect, and consider who we are, what we stand for, and how to remain free. We welcome the author of The Compass and the Radar, The Art of Building a Rewarding Career While Remaining True to Yourself, Paolo Gallo. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
It's great to have you on the show, Paolo. I thought a nice way to start is a quote I took from the founder and chairman of World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab. And he said, "We are at the beginning of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, a historical era of radical transformation. We need to anchor our being to our values." I thought that was a brilliant way to set us up for the show, because that is one of the true goals of why you wrote this book.
Absolutely. I'm honored, of course, that Professor Klaus Schwab wrote the preface of my book. And perhaps I can briefly explain why this title, The Compass and the Radar, because it appears to be a bit of a technological thing, but it's not. To me, the radar is the capacity to understand the big picture, the organizational dynamics, but also, what's happening on the planet and how the different changes will impact your role, your career, and of course, your company. And then the second one is the compass, which is fundamentally goes back to a very simple question. What do you stand for? What are the things that you believe? And to me, as I've been director of human resources in many organizations in different countries, in UK, in US, in Italy, in Switzerland, these two instruments to me appear to be a good symbolic meaning of what you need to have a meaningful career life.
We often talk on this show, Paolo, about the power of words and the influence we can have on others, both good and bad. You share a beautiful, relatable story about one sentence that changed your life and was an impetus behind writing this book.
Thank you, Aidan, for raising this, because we all had interesting, important, and relevant conversation, but there are perhaps some of them that really shape the way you think for the rest of your life. And funny enough, the one that I had that shaped the way I think, I'm now 55, occurred literally 50 years ago when I was 5. So it was a long time ago, in 1969, when my father came to pick me up from school the first day of school. And you may think that it's not a particularly big deal, because usually dads and moms go to pick up the kids the first day of school. But it was a big deal for me and my twin sister, because my father at that time was living in Brazil. So he came to pick us up. He took us back home, and we told him all the stories and all the details about the first day. We were so excited. Then my father took my sister first, and then myself, and took me to another room. And they say, Paolo, I really appreciate the fact that you tell me all the story, all the details about the teacher, the schoolmates, and, what you had for lunch or whatever. But, what you really need to do is to think every day you return from school, if you love what you're doing, if you learn something new, and if you helped other people, because the rest doesn't really matter. So to me, my own definition of success relates to these 3 components: loving what I'm doing, the passion. The second one is the learning, continuous learning in all your life. And the third one, helping others. And when I say helping others, implies having an impact on the people and the communities in which you operate, which to me is a real definition of success. So these 3 words, love, learn, and help, has been my own compass of pretty much for the last 50 years.
You talk about in chapter 1 about looking for our hidden treasure, that it's inside us all. And I'd love if you shared, Paolo, the beautiful story about the gods of darkness that you share in chapter 1.
Again, this is another personal story, and it's about my daughter, because my daughter, when she was about 4 years old, she came to me and she said, "Dad, where do I find happiness?" Well, that's not an easy question to answer, as you can imagine. And if you have kids, you can imagine the panic in trying to answer to such a profound question. Her name is Sadika. She's now 13, and I told her, "Let me go back to you. I'm going to write you a story." And so I wrote a story that is in chapter 1, which is called the God of Darkness. And the story is very simple. It's basically the God of Darkness, so the nasty God, met, and the purpose of the meeting was to find a place where to hide happiness from humankind. So one of them proposed to hide happiness at the top of the mountain. But one of the gods said, well, eventually humans will be able to climb the top of the mountains and we won't work. So the second one said, let's put it at the bottom of the sea. And, sure enough, a few minutes later, said, eventually they will be able to go to the bottom of the sea too. So somebody said, let's put it in the desert. I mean, they will not go to the desert. And actually, they will. So we will not be able to hide in the middle of the desert. So there was few moments of silence because the different gods couldn't figure it out where to hide happiness. And then the most evil of them, the nasty one, the really bad one, said, actually, I did find a solution. We're going to hide happiness in the people's heart, because they will be so busy in running, climbing, digging, they will not have the time to find happiness in their heart. And I gave this story to my daughter, and since then, she knows that she has to find happiness by looking to her heart.
One of the great things about doing the show is I always pick up little gems like that and impart them to my own children. And in the world that we live in today, that's so fast-paced and there's such high expectations on people. And oftentimes we inadvertently pass those expectations on to our children. So when I ask my children what do they want to be when they grow up, I've got them to think about the answer, and they always say, I want to be happy. And I think that's just this kind of North Star for life, that's actually what I want to be. And now I have to find a way that actually releases that within me. So it just really synchronizes well with your story. But you talk about Roger von Och, one of your heroes, I suppose, that you talk about in the book, and the 4 modes that we need to alternate between in order to find the hidden treasure.
Now here, again, many, many years ago, I attended training with Roger, and I read all these books, and he's one of my intellectual heroes. I'm very lucky because in my life I've always been able to work with amazing people. And if I use a tennis analogy, I played with the best tennis player, and I'm not sure that I became a good tennis player myself, but I did play with fantastic people. So one of them is Roger, and he has a very simple, when I say simple, to me is a compliment, but amazingly effective way of understanding what is your treasure that you have, because everybody has one. And so basically say, you need to be an explorer. So fundamentally, this is a bit of about how you get through creativity in your life. So exploring different options in the different things that you want to do in life. The second one, you need to be an artist. So you putting things together. You start to assembling different colors, different pieces into the puzzle to start to have a consistent and cohesive view. You need to be a judge in other terms. You also need to be realistic and to ask people feedback about whatever you want to do. And eventually you have to put your helmet and become a warrior in terms of fighting and having discipline and focus about succeeding what your dream is. And so to me, I do also training courses on this model. Is a nice way of explaining that there is an immense wealth of potential in each of us, but there is a process that helps you to get there. And I share this process in my book.
And you mentioned there judge, and judge is really important to have an external judge as well. So a tennis player, if you will, somebody else that will give you honest feedback about yourself. And you remind us of a tool that I also love and use, the Johari window.
Now, of course, here, let me go back on something that everybody gets in a second, because what I'm trying to say in my book is nothing the people don't know it already, I just remind them something they probably already know. I mean, everybody's watched, for example, the program, the X Factor, no? And the X Factor is all the participants have something in common, the passion for what they're doing. The point is, only a small percentage of them have some talent in doing it. So the first point is understanding that your passion is not necessarily your talent. So here, I know is a bad surprise for many, but I do have the passion, for example, to play tennis, but I don't have any talent. And so the external judges are people that are playing with you, and they give you feedback, and you need to listen to them. And so if, like in my case, I realized pretty much early in my life that I would not become a tennis player, then I said, okay, I can still play tennis over the weekend. And maybe I'll find something which I'm particularly talented, which is a bit different. Now, the Johari window is fundamentally just a very simple instrument that improves self-awareness. I'm a coach. I'm coaching different people and organizations. And self-awareness is fundamentally the capacity to understand that all of us have a blind spot. And by listening to others, you can reduce the blind spot and therefore increase your self-awareness, which is a very helpful way of increasing your self-awareness and your understanding of yourself.
You start off in the book about us, so let's start with us. But then you give us some ways in which to know when we find the right village for us, to understand the soul of an organization. And you talk about culture as software of the mind and mental models, etc.
Listen, I've been head of human resources, as I mentioned, in many organizations, and I estimated that in my life I interviewed something between 8,000 to 9,000 people. So it was an amazing journey, in my view, in which I spoke with pretty much everybody and their dogs all over the globe. And I had, 9,000 conversations with 9,000 strangers about their own expectations. And one of the things that I've noticed that people in an interview setting, it's a bit of a seduction game. And of course, I don't mean anything sexually, but in terms of, let me show the best of myself. I put my best necktie, my best dress, my best smile, in order to try to get that job. And to a certain extent, I understand this game because you want to impress people and you want to be friendly, professional, and all the rest, and try to get the job. But funny enough, this is not the purpose of an interview, the way I see. The purpose of an interview is not trying to get a job at any cost, but try to understand if that job is the one for you, if that company reflects your values as an individual. And in my book, I give 10 or 12 example stories or methodology that helps people to decode the real colors of the organization, because paradoxically, you could end up getting a job and then within 2 weeks realizing you've done terrible mistakes. In the United States, 5% of the people resign in the first week and 10% in the first month. So what does it mean? That, they won the game of getting a job, but they got the wrong job. And so I in my book, I'm trying to be very practical by giving hints and an indication to say, well, look at this. You will understand quite a lot in about the corporate culture, and so you will find out that this job is the one for you.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons I reached out to you, because I love this idea of understanding where you're going before you go there, and to see through the words on the wall, the mission statements, etc., that don't often ring true. And you talk about several factors: individualism, inequality, power distance, and uncertainty avoidance. And this one, the last one, uncertainty avoidance, really spoke to me, because if you're a change maker or an innovator within an organization, oftentimes you will go to a place and they put the best foot forward, as you say, and you believe they say, we want change, etc., but nobody's willing to change. And then you feel like you've made a huge mistake. And the worst thing you can do is actually stay. And oftentimes people stay because they are afraid of what people will think about them, how it will look on a CV, etc.
Indeed. Again, this I'm using a methodology that was developed by Gert Hofstede, which is he has won the Nobel Prize many years ago, I think in the 80s, about these studies, which is fundamentally a series of dimensions that helps to decode the corporate culture. And here, again, what I'm trying to say without sounding academic is simply to say, listen, just don't be fooled by an elegant web page. Don't be fooled by a bullet point on a job description. Trying to go deeper, trying to understand exactly what they mean. Let me give you an example. let's say the company put on the statement, value statement, diversity and inclusion. People say, oh, great, fantastic. Then you go and you meet a panel of 16 people, all of them men, all of them British, all of them age 50. Well, then it's kind of difficult to understand how they relate to diversity if everybody looks the same. And so, or Italian or American, I don't care about the nationality, but the point that I'm making is to say, try to understand the difference between, if there is a difference between what they claim being themselves and what they do. So I don't want to quote the example, but right now I'm consulting with an organization that have 18 people as a managing directors, 17 of them are men, and only one of them is a woman, for a position which incidentally is kind of irrelevant. So when they put on their webpage diversity, I'm not so sure they really mean it, because fundamentally they're doing pretty much. I'm picking the example of diversity, but there are many others. I mean, let me remind everybody that the statement of some companies that went bankrupted was integrity, and it's easy to talk about integrity, but then when you end up that the company was Lehman Brothers, that they end up bankrupted and fundamentally ruin the financial world and almost taking the planet to the brink of collapse. So, well, they had a statement as a integrity. Well, that was not the case. So here is not about being let's say, pathologically sick and to think, oh my God, everybody's lying, but simply to say, do your homework and try to understand. How do you do it? Observe, look at the webpage, talk to people that worked over there and say, how did it go? Contact somebody on LinkedIn and say, hey, listen, dear pal, I understood you work over there. I got a job offer. Can you give me your honest feedback? Go on glassdoor.com. So do a bit of homework, and so spend more time in analyzing the organization and less time in seducing the organization. And if you do this, I think you're gonna find out confirmation that this place is for you, in which case fantastic, or maybe having some serious doubts, and then you don't show up.
You mentioned some great tips to observe the size of offices, to hang around the lobby of the building, and you coach us how to pose questions, especially in the interview. And as you said, many of us approach an interview as being questioned and to get the job, but it's actually our job, especially in the buoyant job market that we're in today, to actually interview the company.
Yeah, in fact, I tell you, now I left the corporate world, so I'm not on the other side of the desk asking questions to candidates. But for about 10 years, I started my interview by asking a very simple question, which is, which question do you have for me? And 90% of the candidates were knocked off immediately, because they were there ready to recite a part, when in reality, I wanted to find out if these people were interested in learning more about the organization. And a lot of people were like, well, I don't have any question, or maybe they ask a very, very, very simple question, or shallow questions. So here, what I'm trying to say is, when you go for interviews, make sure that you go with 6 or 8 meaningful questions that you really want to learn and to understand, rather than just impress. And because that's fundamentally the way you learn about the place. And I'm using an analogy, perhaps it's politically incorrect, but I think it's meaningful. It's like having a date. When you go to a date, you want just to impress the person. You go for a date, you want to understand more about the person. Because if you want to impress, okay, that's a different game. But if you want to know more about this person, you probably have a better conversation, a better understanding if the person is the person for you.
Another thing you suggest is to interrogate how people in positions of power got there, because this tells you a lot about an organization.
Yeah, absolutely, because it is a very simple thing that everybody can do. Look at the top managers of the organization. It could be a university, a corporate, or whatever. And ask yourself, how did they get there? Very simple. If the answer is, well, they are qualified, they achieved results, they have a fantastic academic background, they're credible, they have integrity, well, that's an indication that in this organization, you have qualified people. And I'm going to quote one, for example, CERN here in Geneva. There are the best physics in the world. There are 12,000 scientists. And the person who's running, Fabiola Gianotti, is just an amazing lady with a fantastic brain, passionate about science. And when you work over there, I'm not saying it's a perfect organization. I'm saying that, well, you don't go there if you're not qualified, if you don't know what the job is all about. But if you go to an organization where you see that the people appointed are the friends of the chairman, and you see some family members in the executive committee, and well, then you probably have a different take about meritocracy, and therefore that should be a red flag in your decision to get there.
I wanted to zone in on another fantastic point you made, which is where we ask ourselves, is this a new position? Because in this world where there's many, many new positions, or heads of innovation or entrepreneurs in residence, etc., most of us, including me in the past, thought this was a very good thing, and that I could shape the role, and I had free reign. And as you call out, we can often step on the toes of others because the role is not defined.
Yeah, listen, it's very simple. I mean, let's say that you go in and buy an apartment tomorrow, and then the question is why the apartment is on sale. So you ask a question, and then maybe it's a fantastic deal, or maybe you realize that the apartment is just beside, a chemical plant, and you can hardly breathe, and that's the reason why it's for sale. So the same with companies, okay? So when you go for a position or a role, try to understand why that role is available. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you need to do some homework. So this is the due diligence that you should be doing when you look for a job. So example number one, the person, the former incumbent, resigned. Okay, why did he resign? Oh, the former incumbent was promoted to a higher level. Great. Would the former incumbent still, let's say, interfere with a new person? Or is a new position? Great, fantastic. Maybe it's a great opportunity, but what does it mean, a new position? Has the organization defined that role? Do you have a budget? Are the boundaries between the new position and the former position clear? So you need to do a bit of homework. That's an example that, for example, a mistake that I've done in my career. So I've done a lot of mistakes, and I've learned a lot, in which I took a job in an organization. And then you realize that when I arrived, that actually nobody from that organization has applied for that role. And I was surprised, because on paper it looked a very prestigious role, and then people said, no, freaking way, nobody's going to apply it, because nobody's lasted more than 9 to 12 months in that role. So you fundamentally, the secretary told me, you're already a walking dead person the first day in which I showed up. So that was not a nice way of starting my new job. Luckily, I resisted 5 years, and I think I haven't done a bad job. But, it's quite important. Is if a position is available and nobody from the organization is applying, why? Well, it's like going to a restaurant in which there is nobody's eating the food prepared by the restaurant. So you probably need to wonder why nobody eats the food that you guys yourself prepare, and why you expect people to eat it. So this is not about being negative. It's about being mindful and do a meaningful, let's say, research and due diligence in order to take a decision that is based on facts and evidence, rather than the game of seduction.
And there's another great due diligence we can do, and you'd share how we should look for 5 numbers regarding the organization. You mentioned one of them already, which is diversity.
Again, here it's relatively simple. Let me give an example. You have two job offers on the table, both of them same job offer, same money. So there is no difference, same title, same role, same position. But in company A, turnover is 40%, and company B, turnover is 6%. Which one would you choose? Well, that's pretty obvious that you should go for the 6%, because 40% turnover means that people don't want to stay in that organization. There's something fundamentally wrong in this organization. And let me give it maybe 2 examples. The turnover at McDonald's is 320%, meaning that every year they have 4 people flipping burgers. So this organization where people go and they walk away within a few weeks, because nobody really think about a career at McDonald's. They probably think about stay there for a few months and walk away when I find something better. But if turnover is, let's say, 6, 8 to 10%, is a healthy turnover. People come, stay for a period of time, and then walk away. So the turnover to me is an indication of how well people are feeling by working in this organization. That's just one. Another one, average age. The average age at Alibaba is 23. The average age at the United Nations is 47. I'm not saying that one of the two is better than the other, but it should give you an indication if you feel particularly comfortable in one place rather than the other. So again, this goes back to what I said in the last few minutes. Do some homework before accepting a role, because eventually you're going to spend 40, 50, 60 hours per week, probably for a good number of years. And it has to be a good decision, because if it's not, you're going to pay a price.
Now we've identified the village for us. So we've identified our values meet the values of the company. We are now in the interview role. One of your 8 to 10,000, was it 8 to 10,000 people?
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Yeah, one of your 8 to 10,000 people. I thought this was really interesting because we don't understand there's a framework behind the interview techniques. And you mentioned two that I thought we should mention, which is the behavioral evaluation and then stress test techniques.
These are very two basic, let's say, methodology used by people that met you. But the people that are unqualified, they don't know the job. They just go through the motion and say, oh, what have you done 10 years ago, 5 years ago? What do you want to do next? Blah, blah, blah. So if you have that kind of interview, it means that the recruiter is not particularly qualified or is not taking any time to read your CV. But there are fundamentally two methodologies. One is called the behavioral one. The second one is the stress one. So the behavioral one is fundamentally they put you in front of real cases and to understand not so much the technical answer, but the behavior that you display in that specific occasion. And so an example could be, well, dear Paolo, can you tell me, you've been direct to human resources, can you tell me, your experience when there was a restructuring in the organization? And then you're trying to understand if the person was able to maintain, let's say, a cool head, a balanced view, how he manages stress and all the rest. So the behavioral one is something that is to a certain extent enter into the psychological behavior of individuals in highly charged situation. The stress interview is a rather irritating methodology, which fundamentally has the aim to destabilize the candidate in the interview. And I put an example of, which I think was funny to write, of a fake interview with Obama, of course. It's totally fake because I never interviewed Barack Obama. But it's just an example of the methodology that some organizations are using in constantly destabilizing people and fundamentally observing how they behave in a very stressful situation. I don't think it's a fun way of interviewing candidates because it's actually very irritating, including for the interviewers, but it's very effective to see how people behave in a stressful situation. So the books gives some indication how to tackle this situation and how to be successful in this interview.
And we'll come back to behavior because it's really important. You talk about oftentimes we judge ourselves by what we do, but often it's how we do things that gets us the role and gets us promoted and gets us further opportunities within an organization. We'll come back to that one because that's a little bit later. But an important thing that comes up next is salary negotiation. And as usual, you give a mountain of information. And I'd love to share the 3 typical mistakes we should avoid: the anchoring effect, the halo effect, and the ladder effect. Basically,
again, one of the very intense moment in a career is when you negotiate a salary or promotion and these kind of things. And one of the things that I noticed it just goes back to behavioral science, which is widely used in my book to explain some of the concept. The anchoring effect is fundamentally when they said you're making 35,000 per year, and then you're fixed to say, I want to get a job for 45,000. And sure enough, you get one for 45,000. And some people say, great, fantastic. I got, a great increase and I'm very happy with that. Point is, some of the people may miss other components. For example, they don't have a pension plan. Numbers of vacation is reduced. They don't give you, health insurance, or you have to travel 2 hours to get to the office. So I'm trying to say, people, evaluate all the package in which there are some financial components, but there are other components that should probably help you to take the best decision. And some people are fixated with a certain number. They get the number, they're happy, and then maybe 2 months later say, damn it, I got a bad deal here because this is not included. This I have to pay for. Or maybe financially it's still a better deal, but they have to travel 2 hours. I remember when I was in London, a guy accepted a job in Brighton, and the guy has to wake up at 4:40 in the morning to show up in Brighton at 8. And after 2 months, he came to me and said, Paolo, can I come back? I took him back because he was a wonderful guy, but the guy did a wonderful mistake in accepting a job for more money, only by forgetting that he should have spent about 5 hours per day commuting. And within 2 months, the guy was fundamentally exhausted.
And Paolo, I loved your suggestion when you get asked, everybody gets asked this one, what's your salary expectation?
This is another tricky question that organizations ask. And my advice is don't answer, because that should be the one telling you what they're supposed to offer. And so I invite people to be, again, not completely silent, but to say, listen, I'm sure you've done some survey analysis in the market, and you know how much the job is valued. So can you tell me more? So push back and try to get the answer from these people. At the same time, I'm inviting people. I know it sounds a bit arrogant, but I mean it sincerely. To draw a line below which you're not prepared to go. Because when this is the case, then people try to buy you cheap, and that's usually not nice to start work feeling that you've been cheated on the salary. So be clear, wait for them, and the book gives some indication how to negotiate and how to conduct this conversation, which is usually the last one before you enter into.
You mentioned there your ex-colleague and the Brighton story. You rightly mentioned loyalty and trust are really important, and tenure within the company. But I thought here about the shift that we're seeing in the labour market to shorter tenures in businesses. Because, for example, I left a role after 8 months, and I was concerned how it looked on my CV. And after a while, I was kind of going, I actually don't care, because it was a really bad fit for me. But what's your take on that? Somebody who's moved into a job, and you do tell us in the book, there's a 50% turnover in the first 6 months in a lot of roles, and it's kind of hidden or swept under the carpet.
Now here again, a lot of people, and in a way with some good reasons, they feel the rule of thumb is to say, listen, you should stay in a job 3 years, more than 3, less than 5. And to a certain extent, there are some truth attached to this, let's say, time-bound kind of assessment. But it's not the only one. The real one is to say, my professor at university told me, whatever job you take, fast forward 3 years, look back and try to realize what have you learned? Have you increased your value? One of the things that I said in my book, which is some people may be surprised, but I say, don't try to increase your salary, try to increase your value. These are two different things. Okay, let me give you 2 examples. Example number 1, a person that is making 200, promoted to a job to 400, but his qualification remains the same, his knowledge remains the same, and the job market said that the market is, let's say, 300. So the person is paid 25% more, because now making 400, but it's double his salary. Person number 2, making 200, not a promotion, but he got a fantastic stretch assignment, he's learning a new language, and he's learning about a new product. 2 years later, which one worth more on the market? The guy is making 400 or the guy is making 200? The guy is making 200, of course, okay? So what does it mean? That this guy will be probably able to get another job for much more, while the second person is stuck because he's making much more than what the market pays, and he is not qualified to do that job. So person number 2 has a lifespan of about 2 to 3 years max. Number 1. Person number 2 probably can jump ship and get a better deal in another place. So I always tell people, specific at the beginning of the career, maximize your value, your knowledge, your flexibility, your learning agility, your competencies, your languages, your experience, your projects, your client exposure, your product exposure, your technology understanding, and all the rest, because that will increase your value. The money should come, and if it doesn't, you can probably walk away and get a better deal elsewhere.
At this stage, we've followed your advice, we've read your book, we've got the role, we're in the company. Now we need to meet the locals, Paolo, as you say. And as you say, when you enter a jungle, you need to understand which are the dangerous animals in the organization and which ones we should avoid. And you tell us about the great story of Captain Tasman.
Now here, it's actually a true story that happened many years ago. Fundamentally, is the first ship that ever landed in New Zealand. They arrived in this northern part of New Zealand, and with expectation to become friends with the locals. And sure enough, they arrived close to the shore, and they start exchanging glances and some words. I mean, some sounds, and then eventually the locals they were not so happy to see these people over there, and they assaulted the ship. They killed some of the people, and the captain has to sail away very fast. And for about 75 years, nobody has ever returned to New Zealand until the next one. So this is just a small story that I say, which is don't make assumption about the locals. Try to understand who they are. And when I say the locals, I mean people that are currently working in this organization. You need to gain their trust. They're not bad people. I'm not saying that people who work in organization are bad people. I say you need to gain their trust. For example, now I'm coaching a guy in an organization. He's very young. He's in the mid-30s, and he has 7 direct reports, all of them above 50, and all of them have been in the organization more than 15 years. So this guy is probably is having some challenges in gaining trust from locals. They probably believe they are more qualified than he is, and so he's not having a walk in the park right now. So understanding the locals, understand the culture, trying to gain their trust, try to enter with humility. I put at the beginning of this chapter a very simple quote, which I think is very important to say. First, seek to understand, and then to be understood. So fundamentally, at the beginning, try to ask questions, be humble, remember people's name, and then little by little you can gain trust. It's important to gain the trust of the locals when you enter into a village.
This is important, that one you mentioned about the humility, because oftentimes when you enter a company, you want to make an impact. I often think of it like it's in sport where you come off the bench or you get your first opportunity and you like want to make an impact on the game. And people, there's this kind of fine line between making an impact and overly making an impact where people turn against you. And you mentioned one of your own stories where you went in and you were a little bit critical of the organization you joined.
As I mentioned, I've done a lot of mistakes, and mistakes are a great opportunity of learning, as we know. But when you do them, they're painful. And one of the mistakes I've done was at the beginning of my career, in which, I can tell you, it was at the World Bank, in which my manager, we started in a beautiful, positive way, of course. And then he said, listen, well, I remember the number of people were about 50 people in the team. I was, one of the people reporting to him with a small team. And he said, listen, I don't think these people are too efficient. So can you do an analysis and you tell me, what are your thoughts and all that. So I did do this analysis. I sent the paper to him. He never responded. So I went back to him, said, can we talk? And then he said, I don't have time. So eventually we end up in a team meeting with all the 50 people there. And he said, Paolo, sorry, can you share the result of your analysis with the team? I said, perhaps, I can, maybe we can talk one-to-one. He said, no, just share. We are very transparent. And I told him what I learned, which was true technically. And then you realize why I got into trouble. But I said, listen, what I'm hearing from them, that they're spending 40% of the time meeting with you and writing paper to you. And therefore, there are very little time to do work. So you should try to ask less and to help more. That was fundamentally my sentence to death. Because fundamentally, I said in front of 50 people, the problem is you.
Yeah.
Which is technically I was correct, but politically it was a suicide. So here I was 27, 28 or something. So I gave myself permission to do the mistakes when you're below 30. But this is an example of things that you should not be doing. That doesn't mean hiding the truth, but it means finding a modality and a methodology and a timing that is appropriate for the organization. So understandably, the guy got mad and he pushed me out. I removed a lot of my responsibility, and 6 months later, I found another job and I moved to another department. But here is simply to say, you can be technically correct, but you also need to find an intelligent way of channeling proposal and criticism rather than being open. And that was a colossal mistake that I've done in my career.
Yeah, and this show is for change makers. It's one of the real pieces of gold in the book. And we often talk about a lot of failed innovations being a failure to translate into the language of the locals. And you talk here about, it's basically about political intelligence. I was telling you off air, I worked in a public organization, and one of the confidants I had there is like, Aidan, you need to learn to speak politique, right? And what he was talking about is what you're talking about here, is to understand the animals in the jungle. And I loved a quote here about from one of your mentors about how in every organization there are people who work for the organization and people who work for themselves. And I'd love to share the matrix you came up with, Paolo, which is pure gold and very entertaining. Let's share the animals of the jungle, maybe starting with the incompetent.
Now, here again, I go back to this wonderful phrase of my colleague, and he said, a few days after I joined, it was my first job, I was 24. I said, Paolo, you need to understand that people work for the organization, people work for themselves. And so that stayed in my mind, and then I translate into to a very simple matrix, and I put animals in this matrix because animals are a very easy way of understanding, let's say, characteristic and features of individuals in organization. So let's put it this way, one are people that work for the organization, but they have a very limited, let's say, political understanding of the organization. So these are the loyal individual, the safe pair of hands, the people work very hard. I call them the dogs. Dogs is not at all in a derogatory or negative way, but fundamentally people that are very loyal, they obey, they are to a certain extent naive in the understanding of the politics, and usually they are the first one to be sacrificed when there is a corporate crisis. And I received many mails from people who say, "Oh my God, I've been a dog for all my life in my organization." Okay. Then on the opposite side, you have people that are very astute, so they know the organization, they know the politics, they know the game, and they work for themselves. And these are the dangerous people that, to a certain extent, you should avoid. Dangerous people put snakes as an animal because I don't remember meeting anybody who likes snakes. And these are people that are very, let's say, focused in their own agenda. They focus on their own career, and they don't have any problem in blaming people, and they can play the game incredibly well, but at the expense of others. And then a subcategory of snakes are the psychopaths. And the psychopaths are the most dangerous category of people that you could find in organizations. Incidentally, just for people to know, there are around 1%, 1.5% of people on the planet that are psychopaths. And usually people at the top organization, there is a nice percentage of people, around 10% of them that are psychopaths. So the psychopaths are people that have, let's say, no remorse. They treat people like objects, and they don't care about what people feel. And when you have the misfortune to work with some of them, usually it's pretty miserable. And this book trying to give some indication about what to avoid. So in this matrix, going back to your question, I'm trying to help people to see you're going to find different animals in the village, in the zoo, and you better understand the difference between the different behavior. And so you can relate or correlate to them differently based on their characteristics.
And can we share the foxes, peacocks, and snakes here? Because this really spoke to me. I worked for Narcissistic Peacock. And as you say, you often find yourself putting on an act just to survive. And I just couldn't do it. I felt so inauthentic. I felt so at odds with my true values. This is why it's so important for those people who are in that situation that you will get sick. It will affect your mental health. It'll affect your family and ultimately affect your life. So have the bravery. And the book is so good at giving you the compass and the radar in order to make the right choice for your own life.
I'm 55, as I mentioned, and I had 17 bosses in my life. 2 of them were psychopaths. And this, when I work with them, that coincided with the most miserable period of my professional life. It was awful. I give an example that is true. That also give a sense of what does it mean. Many years ago, I was head of human resource organization, and I found out that a staff member committed suicide. Not at the office, at home, but it was absolutely awful. Probably the most devastating day of my professional life. So I went to the office of the big boss of this organization, and I went to him and to say, "Listen, tragic news here, because so and so committed suicide." The guy looked at me for 5 seconds and he said, "Philip can replace him." And I still remember this as in a traumatic way, because the guy couldn't care less about the fact that a person died. he was already focused on who should have replaced him. And then for 5 seconds, I couldn't reply. And he said, well, move your ass, because you are the HR director. You have to find a replacement. That's your job. So the emotional side wasn't even registered in his mind. So when you work with a psychopath, you end up working with this kind of individuals. And while I think you can find a way to work with a narcissistic individual, because fundamentally they just want to be on stage all the time, and is frustrating, but it's not devastating. When you work with a psychopath, it could be in the long run a tragic choice to continue working with them, and therefore it's better to leave or to find different arrangement and avoid this kind of people. These people are toxic. They're killing people. They're killing organization. There's a beautiful book called "Dying for a Paycheck" by Jeffrey Pfeffer that explains and give the granular evidence of working with organization and with people that are psychopathic and toxic.
And as you say, there is a pact we make with the devil, and there's a price we pay for a prestigious career. And here you mentioned the tragic story of the late KPMG CEO, Eugene O'Kelly.
You quoted one of my favorite books called Chasing Daylight, that used to be the former CEO of KPMG. The first line of the book, which I know by heart, to say, I've been given 3 months to leave. I was lucky. And, you read the first line, you stop reading the line and say, hold on a second, is this fiction or what? In reality, it's a true story of this guy that I worked as a phenomenal career in his company, a very prestigious company. And then he had some headaches, etc. And so I go to the doctor, and the doctor said, yeah, actually you have a brain tumor. There's nothing we can do. You have 3 months to live, and that's it. So he started writing the book the day in which he learned that he has 3 months to live, and sure enough, he dies after 93 days. So regrettably, the doctor was bloody right. And it's an unbelievable, beautiful book in understanding what is actually meaningful in life, and what is important, and how we say goodbye to all the people in his life. And there is a part of the book that struck me because the guy is Irish and was working in New York. And he said, well, my wife was working in New York too, just a couple of blocks from where I was working. And I realized that in 28 years, I never had lunch with her, because we enter into our offices, we work like crazy, and we meet back home in the night. We never had lunch in 28 years. When I read that book, at that time I was working for the World Bank, and my wife was also working for the World Bank. And I realized that, sure enough, in 7 years, I never had lunch with my wife too. So I immediately call my wife and I say, from now on, every Friday, we like Japanese food. We're going to have sushi. And in a nice Japanese restaurant close to the World Bank. And sure enough, for 3 years, every Friday at 12 o'clock, I was meeting my wife, having lunch, enjoy 1 hour of tranquility and good conversations, enjoying the food that we like, and return back to the office at 2 o'clock. So I decided to take 2 hours lunch break, because I never take a lunch break. And that was, to me, a wonderful gift that I received from this book, to realize that you need to have lunch and time with the people you love, and because that's what really matters.
So there's a huge cost on our relationships, and you bring our attention to that to open our eyes. And there's another part here, because you mentioned top CEOs, etc., many of whom you've coached and worked with, but it can be very, very lonely at the top, and oftentimes they don't know who to trust or who to talk to.
As I mentioned, I've been very lucky that I work with amazing people in amazing organizations, and the European Bank, the World Bank, the IFC, the World Economic Forum. Therefore, I had the good fortune to work with people that to a certain extent are shaping the planet, the policymakers, the Nobel Prize, the CEOs, the Prime Minister, the ministers, the academic. So I've been exposed, and I work with them for 20 years, actually more than this. So in a way, I'm lucky. The second question is, how these people, the happiest people, the most content people on the planet? Because if you think about the conventional definition of a successful career, is you got to be at the top of the organization to be successful, or at least getting close to the top. In reality, I worked with all these people for 20 years, and I guarantee to you, these are not at all the happiest people on earth at all. They're stressed. Usually, or most of the time, or frequently, let's put it this way, they have very difficult family situations. I don't know if they sleep at night, and they're constantly terrified to lose election or maybe a vote of confidence from the board and to be kicked out within minutes. And you see this happening, every moment. I mean, look at the political situation in Europe right now, and which is pretty much a disaster everywhere. So, why I'm telling you this, because this forced me to think: is really climbing and getting to the top the real measure of successful career? And in my book, of course, I provide a different, in my view, more meaningful alternative. Also because these people are lonely. They are surrounded by yes men, usually. And frankly, I don't see these people particularly happy at all. I mean, I know it sounds a bit of a generic statement, but meeting and working with them for 20 years has forced me to think that perhaps successful career can't be measured by power, money, visibility, and this kind of thing.
And you mentioned there being surrounded by yes man, and we talk often on this show about groupthink and the avoidance of groupthink and critical thinking. But you shared the great story of Jerry Harvey's organizations as frog farms.
Now, this is an article that I invite everybody to read. It's available for free on the internet. So, organization is a frog farms, and frog is written PH rather than F, for a reason that you will find out. Which is fundamentally, what does it mean when you conform so much to the views of the organization that you forget to have your own. And it's fundamentally the price that you pay to adapt, to conform, to say yes, sir, even if you disagree. And here, that's a difficult game here, because you can't be constantly against the organization, because then you're on the wrong organization, you're the wrong person. But you cannot totally conform every single time, every single moment. And there are studies that have been done over the years by, Phil Zimbardo and all the rest, the Stanford prison experiment, the Milgram experiment, that explain the danger of conforming when you give up your own values. So I'm cautioned people to say, be careful and don't pay a price that is too high for your integrity to adapt to organization.
You warn us here about blind obedience and what we're willing to do to stay in the role versus actually saying, that's at total odds with my own values. And it's so validating when you stand up for yourself. And I've read about this, when you actually stand up for yourself and you stand up for a bully. If you don't, you never really forgive yourself. You'll always look back and go, I should have done that. I should have done that. And, I hope maybe if somebody hopefully doesn't end up in a situation where they have to, but if they do, they stand up for themselves, even if it means leaving the company. But here you tell us about a great story, which is mind-blowing, of your own experience where you had to just actually go, this is at total odds with my values.
First of all, just to be clear, I've been fired once because I refused to do something that to me didn't make sense, and to me was also ethically questionable. And when I was challenged, I insisted on my own views. That was my last day at the organization. So at times you do pay a price, but quite frankly, I'm kind of happy I've done it, even if that moment I didn't enjoy the process. Here is simply another example, which many years ago I got a job offer for an amount of money that I would have not imagined. And then as soon as I arrived, they told me, well, actually, your real job is to get 10,000 people out of the door within a few months. And if you do this, this is $1 million for you in addition to $1 million salary. So on one side, I could have put $2 million in my pocket in 8 months, which is a huge amount of money that I've never seen in my life. On the other side, I would have, probably lost my own soul by doing something that I detested, something that I didn't feel was appropriate in an organization with methodologies that were close to be Nazi. And, I didn't sleep that night. And the day after, I said, sorry, good news, you don't have to get rid of 10,000 people, only 9,999. The bad news that I'm one of them, goodbye. And I took the flight back home, and my wife was surprised. And there was a day in which I remember watching TV, and I was in London at the time, and BBC started the news to say there are 3 million unemployed people in UK today. And I thought, actually, there are 3 million and one, and the one is me. so I So I was terrified, quite frankly, because that was shortly after my daughter came to our life, and my wife stopped working to take care of my daughter. We bought a small apartment. I was paying a big mortgage, and I get to confess, I didn't sleep for probably a couple of months, concerned about my life. But then, quite frankly, I'm happy I've taken this choice, and I've done mistakes, but I didn't sell my soul.
As you say, it's not difficult to build a career, but it's complicated to build a career while remaining true to yourself. And let's dig into that a little deeper, because you say you've always been struck by the low correlation between results, talent, and progression within an organization.
There is a story of, there is a chapter called "Do You Believe in Santa Claus?" Which is fundamentally, let's put it this way, try to avoid the idea that you progress in organization only exclusively because of merit. There are many other factors that enter into the equation. Some of them are legitimate, some of them are not. So you need to perhaps mature and understand that there are different criteria in the organization, and some of them are not particularly pleasant to hear. So you need to be mindful and try to understand if it's still the game for you.
And it's really important to have some filter or framework to evaluate if we should stay in a business or not. And you shared the results versus behavior matrix, Paolo. This is interesting because this is a way to actually plot our thoughts out and make it objective.
I share in an instrument that is used in many organizations, including some that I worked, in which people, let's say, contribution or performance is evaluated on two fronts. One, what you do, and the second one, how you do it. And this is important. And I believe that how you do it is probably even more important than what you've done. So let me give you maybe a simple example. Let's say you're a phenomenal salesperson. You sold more cars than every colleague in the company. But you pretty much a jerk. You treat people like dirt. You're shouting, blah, blah, blah. So maybe the results are great, but the cooperation and the teamwork, the decency, the respect is not there. And therefore, you may rate very high on the what, but very low on the how. On the other side, you cannot just be a wonderful guy and smiling and offering coffees and cakes to everybody and do nothing. So you cannot even think that you can just get away by being a wonderful person. You also need to produce. So here it's simply a way to say to people, make sure that you take care of both dimensions when you work in an organization. And interestingly, promotions, I've been sitting and decided about people promotion for many years, are mainly decided on the how more than on the what. So the what gets you into the debate, and the how gets you through the process to a certain extent. Meaning, have you established good relation with the colleagues? Do people trust you? Do you have integrity? Have you behaved impeccably? Have you done things that helps the organization to progress? So don't play only your own game. Try to play the game of the team, the organization, and then you'll be fine.
Paolo, we're running out of time, so I thought you worked with the World Economic Forum, you were at Davos, you have your finger on the pulse of the latest trends, the mega trends, etc. I thought in that, I'll just pull out one thing, which is your own proposal of how we should live, which I really liked, which is the idea of Zengility.
No, Zengility is a word that I invented. I don't know how, but I just invented. It doesn't exist, and perhaps one day you'll find it in a dictionary, but is a mix of Zen and agility. Zen is fundamentally remaining to a certain extent detached and distanced from all the mess, the noise, and the changes that are occurring. When I say detached, I don't mean indifferent or not mindful, but not to be constantly at the center of the noise. Okay. So try to observe what's happening. The agility is to adapt to these changes. And perhaps to be very practical, life expectancy has increased enormously. And my daughter, she's now 13, will be probably live until she's 95. So what does it mean in your career? It means that when she will be finishing her university, probably she will be in the mid-20s, she will have possibly 55 to 65 years of work in front of her. So one of the things that I keep on saying, in order to win with the machine learning, you have to become a learning machine yourself. You need to become a learning machine, meaning you constantly need to learn to adapt, to increase your value, to increase, what you bring to the table, the value that you give to your clients, to your colleagues, to your organization, to the community, in order to become and to remain relevant. Because if you don't, eventually something will happen and you're going to be excluded from this game, this competition and productive life.
Your father mentioned some wise words to you earlier in your life and posed you a question that really changed the course of your life. If now you have a chance for some parting advice for us, for our audience, what would that advice be?
I would love to be amazingly original in telling you something completely different, but I would stuck to what my father told me. Make sure that you love what you're doing, that you keep on learning, and you help other people, because the rest doesn't matter.
Beautiful, Paolo. And where can people find out more about you, your work, the book, etc.?
Well, the book, you go on Amazon, you find it there, and you go on paologallo.net. I do coaching. I go to different organizations giving speeches. And I have to say that's something that really gives me a lot of joy. I received, since my book was released, my book is now available in 10 languages. Next week it's going to be in French. So I had 1,000 of people have contacted me. This is an amazing journey for me of learning experiences. And what gives me joy is to see that my book and the job that I'm doing and the work that I'm doing as a speaker, as a coach, as a teacher, has given perhaps some insights for people to manage their own career with a strong compass and a strong radar.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, author of The Compass and the Radar, The Art of Building a Rewarding Career While Remaining True to Yourself, Paolo Gallo. Thank you for joining us.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks so much for inviting me. Thank you.